myself, my name is Aristo. I'm from BDRC Asia, Indonesia. For today, we try to share you about the mobile online video research speaking for wide to consumers across Indonesia. Because when what Piers has mentioned before, this is not the golden era anymore for market research. So I said to switch to client side. No, we continue to innovate. Okay, this is one of our innovation right now. So we have some things that maybe it's slightly different what we have done before. In this presentation, I will and Dini, I will share you about our new method in terms of the feeling the consumer. So this presentation we call it to feel the consumer with BDRC vision. What is BDRC vision? We will see in the next slide. Okay. 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 Loyal customer journey. I mean, this is always be the main goal for our brand, right? So everyone wants to have like a customer, a loyal customer. The ultimate goal of the brand to gain more loyal customer. But again, it's not an easy process. It's not a short process. We have to make several process to get there. First, maybe we have to get the awareness, of course. Yeah, we have to share our brand to the customer, so they're aware about our brand. After that, if they are convinced, they will try our brand, right? Trying the brand, and then if they like the product, they will try it again, or they satisfied with it, and then they repeat to purchase our product, and becomes loyal. But this is in the ideal world. Okay, there's a lot of things that people drop when they have tried the product. So the moment of truth will be when the customer first time trying whether they should watch or not. Okay, right? This is the main problem for always our product. So when we launch a new product, we have convinced the customer, and then they try it, but they not satisfied with our product, then they drop. If they are not satisfied, then it becomes the concern. Again, the main problem would be where will be the concern. So we have many customer touch points, but we don't know which touch point that our customer doesn't satisfy with our product. This is one problem. But again, when we conduct a research and then we have the results, something like that, and we share to our internal team, again we have another concern. Why? Sometimes we have found the main problem with the customers, the difficulties customer, but we sometimes get a rejection from our internal. I mean, when we share to the internal department about our result, and then they said, why not? Why doing like that? Because sometimes I have done with the procedure. I have shared my product everywhere. Why your customer say that our product is not available in their shop? I have there as well. Where is the shop? Something like that. So many excuse for our internal. This is also coming, right? When you share the result from marketing research. Does it mean that we need something that we can validate our customer complaint, but still can be accepted by our internal department? In this stage, video is very important because it will be the proof, it will be the evidence when we try to convince our internal to grow or maybe to innovate. Okay, there are several things that we can do or validate the methodology. First, we try to ask the customer. Maybe, for example, they already tried our product. Then after they try, we ask the customer whether they like it or not, something like that. Or maybe if you are service industry, after they go out from the branch that we have, we ask directly to the customer whether they like it or not. Or the second one, we ask the customer before the process, and we ask them to use the hidden camera to see what happened in the process. So we got the customer experience on it with video, right? This is like mystery shopping. but we ask customer to do it, not the shoppers. Then traditional mystery shopping. The third one, we use the shoppers. We call it shoppers, right? They act like customers. They follow the quick scenario, and we see the result automated. But still, is still using the offline hidden camera. Usually they use the button, hide, it's like a spy, like James Bond, like a button camera here, or maybe they use like a fan. Yeah. But now the brand is already clever. They know when they see a shopper, oh, they will act differently. It's different with when they face a regular customer, something like that. So we find another one, not the offline. We call it the online and live hidden camera. It means that we can see directly, and it's live streaming. So when the shoppers come in, or maybe the customer may be asked to do the shoppers, we can see directly what happened in the process, and we can see directly something like that. Because sometimes this is also got feedback from our client. The camera that we put into the hidden camera, they feel that this is already edited to follow the story, something like that. So, for example, the researcher has already story, and the result from the video is not support the story, so they edit the video. It's always always with that. But now we have the online one, which is cannot be edited. So we introduce our new technique. We call it BDRC vision. So this is like online and streaming hidden camera, but we can do it in the mobile phone. It's like an application. So with this BDRC vision, there's a lot of things we can do here. There's a lot of benefit. First, there will be more engagement with the shoppers, because sometimes when we try to convince the internal department, they feel okay, it's bullshit. I mean, the data is wrong, something like that. But now we can take them, sit them together, and see. It's like watching the live match football together with them. We plan to do that like that as well. So yeah, instead of watching the football now, we show people try to have a process in the banking or a bank or insurance, something like that. And then the second one will be getting closer to the consumers. They feel directly what consumer felt when they have complaint, why they complain, because maybe there's something that missed when we try to do only offline hidden camera. The last one, the reach. Now we don't have to do witness in any town, any part of the country. For example, I have a witness in Malang, for example. We can read live directly from Jakarta. We don't have to go there. And this is not only for mystery shopping. We can do it for a company shopping. For example, you want to see how people decide when they find the product in the supermarket or mini market. We can do as well like that. So you can see how the decision process making of the assets. Or if you want, sometimes I found that client wants to have like market visit, but it's out of nowhere in Indonesia. We can do like this. We ask someone as a shopper and do online live camera like this. Okay. The best example to show how can we feel what the customer felt is this video. I mean, I can't find the best one other than in the roller coaster. One when we want to share the feeling, we can put it into a video, and yeah, this is like one example. So there's one evidence or proof that we can show to our internal department this is what happened. When we try just saying to them that, oh yeah, this roller coaster is very great because it has the 360 turnaround degrees and something like that, they were okay, I get it. But when we show this video, it's a totally different feeling. Only 2 minutes, but it can convince them. So that's why we think that video is very important to show the customer experience in the real time, and live will be merged with this video research as well. Okay, as you are aware as well right now that we are living in the live dimension. We have the live YouTube now, we have the live Instagram, and also we have the live WhatsApp. We can WhatsApp call with our family, with our friends, something like that. And sometimes we put the Insta story. Now maybe someone Insta story in the Instagram, something like that. So we live in the live dimension right now. So maybe this one question that comes in your mind when we show the slides. So it's live. So what? So what's different with the other mystery shopping or the other company shopping or the other product? Because it's live, they have several benefits. The first one is real time. Real time is always exciting. When you saw a match, a football match, you will prefer live match rather than the replay, right? Because we don't know what happened next, and we also witnessing the any kind of scene in the monitor. It's real time. Second one is there will be no editing. How can we edit? Because we haven't got the final result, right? This one that I think is quite powerful when we show the online camera. And live evaluation, we can see directly there. When we put into mystery shopping, we can see how is our talent or our customer service do to our customers, something like that. And customer scenario, do you know what's called this one sinetron called H2C, harap cemas, when they try to prove that her boyfriend is cheating, something like that. There's a lot. They use also live camera, something like this. So we can customize this camera. For example, we found something interesting and we can dig down on the spot directly. So the shopper will use the earphone, small earphone, so we can give instruction when the process is beginning. The last one will be live quality control. This will be also another things that we can do from live camera. So the quality control will be happen there. Okay, that's all the opening for the BDRC vision. Maybe in terms of the technique and everything, Dini will explain for more. I share this to Dini.
Thank you, Mas Aristo, and thank you, everyone. So, just a point that I think we forgot to mention is in service industry, usually we only focus with how to satisfy our customer. And once we focus on how to satisfy our customer, usually we are spending too many things. You may say time and then money and everything. But then we forgot about the one thing that is really important in the customer or consumer minds, which is the experience. Because once we are talking about experience, they can say it loudly whether it is bad experience or a very good experience. So that's why now we are talking about something live rather than using the traditional camera. The reason behind it that when we use traditional camera and when we try to do the mystery shopping or audit to our internal staff, usually the shopper will become a robot as well as our staff. That's why we cannot really get the match information with what is in the staff mind as well as the customer mind. So that's why if we are using it live or using the mobile phone application, we still evaluate the procedure on how our staff should be acting in terms of servicing our customer, or how should we place our product in the retailers, something like that. but then we also got to know whether our customer is really experiencing what we are trying to give it to them. So in terms of the techniques, it's actually not really, I would say not really different from the traditional one, only that we are changing from the traditional camera into our BDRC vision. But the thing is, since it is using mobile phone, then and it is live, so the possibilities of the shopper or our customer acting as the shopper will be known by the client or we as the user, is that they are acting more naturally. Rather than they are thinking, okay, I should remember this one, I should remember this one and everything. So we change that perception and the techniques into this methodology. So if we see that the components of BDRC vision is, of course, we need to have the shopper. We cannot replace it with technology. We still need human because we need to understand about the experience. And then the second one, we need to use the mobile phone because this is the application where we are embedded into the shopper mobile phone. And this is the application. Once the shopper is using the application and they close the application, it will be directly uploaded. So though there is a possibility, is it possible for the shopper to do the editing? Possible. But then we as the administrator will aware that there are some edited video. So we will still use the original video. So how the process in terms of using this technology is, first we need to log in into our application, actually not website, and then they will need to choose the task or scenario, where actually in terms of the task also we can plot it directly, so they cannot do any improvisation. They need to focus on what they need to do, and then it will be directly turning on their camera and it is ready to use. And if we are going to the branch or to the retailers, and if we are holding our mobile phone, usually people will start questioning, what are you doing? So that's why the other reason why we are using mobile phone, that we can keep it in our pocket. So it is not obvious, so people will not aware that we are actually recording them. And then the next one is we do the evaluation with live as the option, as Mas Aristo already mentioned. And then we finish the process, and once we finish the process, it will be directly uploaded. So once it is uploaded, actually the shopper can now go to the questionnaire and then start memorizing about the process itself. So we are switching the process, rather than we are briefing our shopper to memorize the questionnaire or the list of parameters that they need to evaluate. We move it into the back. So it is more into real experience. It's okay because some of the clients is very strict in terms of the parameters. Let's say if you are coming to mini market, let's say there is supposed to be someone saying good morning, good afternoon and everything, but is it really give an impact into our experience while we are visiting the location? I don't think everyone will have a similar experience, whether there is someone who is saying hello to you or no one saying hello to you. So that's why rather than asking them to memorizing and everything, so we put it at the end of the process. The way they do the evaluation also, of course they still need to review on the video, because there are still some parameters that is still important to the clients. There are some parameters that can be a differentiator to the client, so we cannot really neglect that one. So I'm showing one example here. So this application is actually can be used for any kind of mystery shopping, so not necessarily for, let's say, financial or banking services. It can be used also for the retailers, because we not only understanding or evaluating the procedure, we also can try to get the information about the marketing activities. Is there any marketing gimmick, or is there any changing in terms of the product placing? and everything, product availability and something like that. So this is the example that we have. So like I said before that in this video, so actually we have the full video, but we have cut some of the video. Yeah, so that's how we use the application. In this example is actually in the mini market, so we are trying to evaluate what kind of marketing marketing activities is available there. If our product is available, I mean the stock is enough or not, so something like that. So actually, maybe since it is a recorded version, it looks similar to you guys. So actually I'm having the live version. Okay, so actually that's how we demonstrate the live version. So it is, one of our client is already using it, and it turns out it is really helpful for them, because once, if everything goes well, then they will just happy. But then once something wrong happened, then they can make direct improvement, so they can give a better service. So I think that's from us. Any questions?
Has somebody already guessed who is the...
No.
Maybe I have an idea. If somebody guesses, you will get a free ticket for the next breakfast seminar here in Jakarta. So please, yes, this helps too.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the shopper, please. All of you guys standing.
On the back, maybe stand. All of them. Can you guess which one is the shopper?
That guy in the jacket. Are you the mystery shopper?
Correct or not?
Yes.
Correct?
Which one?
Oh, come.
Okay, second.
Okay.
The black.
Yang tengah.
The middle one?
Correct?
Correct? Yeah.
Later you give me your name card and I give you a free ticket for the next seminar.
Okay. So that is from BDRC. Any questions?
What are the legal issues to it? I'm sure there must be it's a legal problem. So how do we get around that? Like what kind of permissions are needed?
In addition with his question as well, because we have been subscribing Nielsen for that video application. We have experience subscribing Nielsen because Nielsen have a contract with all the supermarkets and hypermarkets, so they can use all the system over there. But here it seems illegal, yeah, because I have experience to be caught by the security when we did that, using the hidden camera as well in the eyeglasses.
Yeah. Illegal if we want to see if our husband is cheating or not is illegal. But here, we always try to get a permission from the client staff. For example, I have one bank, and then they want to ask, I want to have the message something like this. They will permit us to don't go anywhere, as long as in their bank. Still okay, something like that.
So actually, we need to get the permission from the clients, because as long as we are only touching their stuff, all of the staff also will be informed that there will be an audit, will be done by our team. But again, like Mas Aristo saying that if it is using the traditional one, usually staff will easily know who will be the shopper. So that's why the issue comes up, like the security guy is checking whether if it is okay for you to record this one. But since we launched our new technology, actually the client also aware that we will be using this technology in order to evaluate the staff. Though we didn't really mention to the staff that we are using mobile phone. Of course, we cannot say it to them, but so far there is no issue using them.
So this is more the illustration more into the modern trade, right?
Yes.
How it's applied to also general trade, because mostly of our market is still in the general trade, and one of the big challenge for us as a client side is how we can identify the real shopper for the general trade.
Or general trade is, I think, it's not a problem because it's like a public area. You can still use your camera everywhere, and it's still a problem. Different when we go to the modern trade, because we enter different. It's not a public. It's public area, but it's also have a permission for to do that. But for general trade, it's quite open like that.
I mean, for in terms of do you apa ya istilahnya nongkrongin seharian di situ gitu untuk beli?
No, we ask for
shopper
some.
is for general trade is comes and back. You cannot predict, right?
Yes. So we ask customer, or maybe we act like a shoppers to use our mobile phone and see that we don't have to nongkrong seharian di situ. Yeah, we just see what happened there and also what products is sold there, and then we can see the placement, something like that. Yeah, we have to go to, for example, in Papua to see our placement, right?
So only focusing on affability, not for the shopper profile?
We can also do that as well. It is like another thing that we can.
Because actually in terms of the shopper selection also, we always propose to our clients that we use let's say 70-30, so there will be 50% of experienced shopper where they aware what they need to see and everything, and the other 70% is the real customer or buyers. So the way we are recruiting the shopper also is not, we didn't really brief them on what they need to do in terms of the process. So we are just telling them that, okay, I would like you to go to this branch or to this mini market, but do something that you already planned before, but I need to give you this mobile phone. I already keep it on. Then you can go around in that place, and then when they go out, we'll just take the video, the mobile phone, and we might be asking certain questions to them related to the experience only. So we are not asking them the question, okay, did you see this one? Did you see this one? Did you see this one? No, because we will be checking it with the video itself, but it is more into the really important questions only.
Thank you, Mas Aristo. Thank you, Mbak Dini, for your presentation. If you have further questions, please ask during the short 10 minutes break, or maybe after the breakfast, or as we are here at the Digital Indonesia, connect with them later on as well after the breakfast. Thank you.